Okay. Alright. Oh. Alrighty, here we go. So, okay, that's correct. And here we go. What do we start with?
Hello, Stephen.
Hey again, Ghostface. Nice to see you again.
How have you been?
Well, I'm not doing too bad. Again, I'm recording a video for YouTube. My review on your second film, Scream 2, released in 1997. Still directed by Wes Craven, starring Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette. You know, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. So, did you like Scream 2?
Well, again, I liked Scream 2. Scream 2 was actually a pretty solid sequel. I do remember watching this one the most in my household when I was a little kid, and I don't know what it was when it came to this film, but for some odd reason, it was always another film I always repeated with the Scream franchise. It Everything about it was just solid. It was okay, and like, is it any better than the first one? Now that I've watched them both, that's for me to discuss later on. But yeah, I still have to say I do like Scream too. I think it's a good movie.
So, what'd you think of the story for Scream 2? Did you like it a little bit better than the first Scream?
Well, okay, the story, with the fact that they took the murders of Woodsboro and made it into a movie called Stab, and then you have these two characters get killed at the movie premiere. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, theoretically speaking, of course, some tragedy happens, they're gonna make a fucking movie about it. And then of course you got Sydney, who is attending college or university, and she hears about the murders, and then of course, her life is practically affected again, as multiple people are dying around her. And of course you got Dewey and Gail, who are back as well. Gail trying to get more success off this after writing a book. You got Dewey, who is also trying to recover from his wounds. Then, of course, the addition of Cotton Weary, who was falsely accused of the murder her of Sydney's mother, is in this movie as well. Randy, of course, he's recuperating from his injuries, but also at the same time, kind of an expert on the fact that this would technically be a sequel, which obviously it is. So it's now no longer like a who done it anymore. It's now, what is the killer's motive this time, and how can we stop him? Because they're using the rules of a sequel of a slasher film. So for the story itself, it's pretty fucking good. I have to fucking say, it's really fucking good. And especially with how it kind of ties into all the other fucking slasher sequels, yeah, it makes sense that they would go this route with this sequel.
And did you like the new characters introduced in this film?
New characters. Well, I love the fact that they had a top billed actress to play in this movie and have her on the promotion arts of the posters and everything, and then get her killed in the beginning of the movie again. It's like, oh fuck, we're doing that again. But other than that, like besides like Mickey and the boyfriend, the characters, the new additions, Cece, it's kind of weird, like they're you could tell who was not going to make it, but also at the same time, this was the sequel, right? So it's like, is any of the legacy characters going to die? And then, of course, to find out Randy dies and then Dewey almost dies, it's kind of like shit. But also, to me, it's kind of weird because of the fact that we just saw Sarah Michelle Gellar in this movie, and also she was in I Know What You Did Last Summer, right? So it's kind of like, wow, she was in both of them. Fuck, that's weird. As for the new characters, I want to say there's no complaints, but at the same time, they're just kind of meh. You kind of knew who was gonna die and who could possibly be the villain, but not bad, but not the greatest.
In terms of the body count, did it exceed the first one? And was it a lot more gorier than Scream?
Oh, as for the deaths, yeah, it definitely doubled. I do believe there was like I think 4 kills in the first one, and this time there is 8. And as for the blood factor of how much gore there is, oh yeah, it's definitely a lot gorier for sure. Especially with Randy's demise, and then of course that one cop's demise. The fact that the girl who gets killed in the beginning of the fucking movie in the theater, she's stabbed a bunch of fucking times, especially surrounded by a crowd like that. You think that someone, yeah, I think. Sorry, let me fix myself. You think that someone would have stepped in and helped, but of course it's a slasher movie, so everyone's probably thinking, oh, they're just fucking around until it's like, oh shit, she straight up died. There's a chick who's dead on the fucking screen. As for the kills, like not bad, and for the body count being as it is, it's great that they went that route to, you know, make it bigger. And as for the gore for it, yeah, it's not bad. It's not quite as gory, shockingly though, as the first one though, because I mean, you did have the two who got gutted. In this one, there wasn't really much of a gutting, right? So when it comes to the gore, they did do a very good job, but I think the first one kind of still tops it for that one.
What was your favorite kill in Scream 2?
Oh, my favorite kill, hands down, would probably have to be the officer who's riding the fucking hood of the car and just gets impaled from the back of the head right to the other end of the head through the car. I mean, like that, like especially his twitching, selling it that way, like that's gotta be my favorite fucking kill in the movie. But the most heartbreaking fucking kill for me is Randy's death, because I expected him, with him knowing so much about slasher movies and horror movies and whatnot, and then knowing the rules, especially for a sequel, you think he would have survived. But, he let his problems get the best of him to the point where he ultimately meets his demise. And honestly, like, that sucks for me because I really liked Randy. I love Jamie Kennedy's character. And that's why it was shocking for me. But yeah, my favorite kill of this movie would have to definitely be that cop. For sure.
Well, did you also have a favorite part in this film like you did in Scream?
Well, I can tell you what my least favorite scene is that whole fucking cafeteria song dancing fucking scene. Every time I watch that fucking scene, I don't know what it is with me, but it's just like I get like embarrassed. I don't fucking know. But favorite scene, it would have to be when Randy, Gale, and Dewey are just, chilling out, hanging out, trying to see what's going on, and then the killer calls Gale's phone. Then, of course, Gale and Dewey are looking out to find someone with a cell phone who could be the killer, while Randy is talking to the killer to distract him, to, not make him suspect anything. But the problem is, of course, all these students have cell phones, so they're pretty much tackling and taking phones away from anyone to find out that, yeah, no, this guy's not the killer, this girl's not the killer. It's a very suspenseful kind of scene because it's just like you don't know where the killer is and you don't know who the killer is, and of course the fact that it's in broad daylight. So like, yeah, it's, and of course Randy's demise, like, shit. That's probably one of my favorite fucking scenes of the movie for sure.
So, of course, we got new killers. What did you think of the reveal that Mickey and Mrs. Loomis were the killers in this film?
Well, okay, like the fact that they made it two killers again, which was like, oh, okay, we're going back to the two killers part. For Mickey's motive to pretty much say like, oh, I want to be caught because I'm gonna blame it on the movies and I'm gonna go to trial and I'm gonna become fucking famous and everything. That's the sign of a sociopath, right? Like he is so fucking psychotic in that way that he wants to be famous and caught and be, have movies probably based around him or whatever. It's like, oh fuck, like at first you didn't expect him to be the killer because I thought he's just gonna die at some point. He's gonna be one of those casual guys that's just like, oh yeah, let's go, and then gets killed, right? But other than that, like, I understand Mickey's motive. Now, for Mrs. Loomis, Billy's mother, The fact that she was a random reporter, I had some suspicion that she was going to be a killer because, Gale kind of blew her off. So I was just like, oh, watch, it's going to be a revenge plot to get back at Gale so that she becomes the top reporter. And it's revealed that she's the killer. But to find out that she's Billy Loomis's mother, and then, of course, like, she wants to kill Sydney just straight up out of revenge for killing her son. Now I know a lot of people can sit there and be like, oh yeah, that makes it, it makes sense. But for someone who's watched Friday the 13th, that is definitely a fucking Mrs. Voorhees ripoff. And you're gonna have to fucking agree with me. Essentially, Mrs. Loomis is a ripoff of Pamela Voorhees.
Yeah, I guess you can say that. So what do you give a rating out of 10 for Scream 2?
Well, for my rating for Scream 2, like I know Scream got, an 8.5. This one, it's probably most likely just going to have an 8 out of 10.
Again, why not a perfect 10?
Okay, again, I'm going to have to repeat myself. I cannot fucking believe this. First things first, that fucking cafeteria scene, the whole scene, dancing, singing, fuck that, whatever. 3 of the kills are literally gunshot wounds, and literally they come one after another. You have Sydney's boyfriend, you have Mickey, and then you have Mrs. Loomis getting killed by a gun shot, right? Like, it's pretty much like, okay, that's how we're gonna end the movie with 3 last kills, gunshots. Fuck, okay. Again, the score, it's nothing that impactful. Like I said, I'm sorry for you, man, but you're not Halloween. I'm sorry, but yeah. Other than that, and then of course, like the new cast, I can see where they were going with this, but they're all kind of just there to just get killed. They're kind of bland, so it's kind of predictable. But other than that, it's still an 8 out of 10, okay? It's still good, right? Like, it's still a fucking good sequel. So, it's better than a 5. Can you accept that?
Ugh. Fine, yeah. Okay, I guess I'll give you that one. Ugh. Now, are you ready to play another game?
Another one? Fuck. Well, what kind of game this time?
Same game, but this time I will be only asking you 2 questions. Does that sound fair to you?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, like, you for the first one, you did only 1 question. I guess it's only fitting that this sequel, you might as well do 2 questions. All right. Let's have at it. Let's go.
First question. What 1998 film incorporated a scene from Scream 2 into their film?
1998 film that also incorporated a scene from Scream 2. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Halloween H2O, 20 years later. Yeah, because the director or the producer, I think both actually, had some sort of involvement with this movie that they threw the Do You Want to Die Tonight CC in this movie. But then, of course, it's kind of also weird because in the first Scream, Halloween was just a movie. It wasn't like of the shared universe or anything like that. So then in this movie, Scream's a film, and Scream 2 clearly is a film. So don't you think the students would have noticed after watching the first Scream that their fucking teacher, Mrs. Tate, is in Halloween? It's kind of a meta plot hole, but yeah, the answer is Halloween H2O 20 years later.
Huh. I actually thought I had you there, but I'm impressed. You actually got that correct. But now it's time for question 2. What was the second movie Mickey mentioned when discussing successful movie sequels?
Really?
Yeah. You weren't paying close attention, were you? Huh. Good luck remembering.
T2.
Well, what was the movie that he was referencing with the initials?
Terminator 2: Judgment Day. Released in 1991, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Robert Patrick, and Edward Furlong.
Shit. You really have a hard-on for that movie, don't you?
Yep, it's my favorite movie of all fucking time.
Clearly. I guess Scream 3's the next film you'll be reviewing, huh?
Yep.
In that case, I'll be seeing you real soon.
Again, I would like to just do the fucking review. Just watch it. Wait for it to upload, for fuck's sakes. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to the Ginger Snaps here. My name is Steven, and today, to continue on with the Scream franchise leading up to Scream 5, I will be reviewing Scream 2, which was released in 1997, also directed by Wes Craven.